Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is facing intense pressure internationally and at home to end the war in Gaza and address the dire humanitarian situation there. But he may be about to expand the conflict. Multiple Israeli media reports, quoting unnamed senior officials in the Prime Minister's office, say Benjamin Netanyahu has decided to reoccupy the entirety of the Gaza Strip. There's been no official comment yet, but the cabinet is expected to meet later today. Well, earlier retired security officials in Israel took the unusual step of writing a letter to the US president urging Donald Trump to pressure Israel's government to immediately end the war in Gaza. They also published a slickly produced video. You heard the voice of Tamir Pardo there, a former head of Mossad, Israel's external security agency, saying no matter how good a military is, a war with no political goal is a guarantee of defeat. We can speak now to AMOS YADLIN, a former head of the Israel Defense Forces Military Intelligence Directorate, who appeared in that video message, although he wasn't one of the signatories of the letter to Donald Trump. Welcome to Newsday. What do you make of this plan, which may well be endorsed by the cabinet, to reoccupy all of the Gaza Strip? Would that allow Israel to bring its hostages home?
This war has two objectives. One is to dismantle Hamas as a government, as a terror organization, military group, and the second to bring back the hostages. After 22 months of war, we figure out that the two goals cannot be achieved simultaneously. What we are, a group of former head of organization, Mossad, Shin Bet, Amman, chiefs of the police and the general chief of staffs, we are recommending highly to do it in an order. First, bring back the hostages, and then deal with Hamas. So we're calling upon the Prime Minister to end this war, which is long, which is now damaging Israel's reputation and moral upper hand, and bring back the hostages in some kind of agreement. And then, not with Hamas, but with our largest ally, the United States of America, agree on the future of Gaza without Hamas. This is a consensus in the Arab world, a consensus even in Europe, that Gaza should be without Hamas and dismantled from any military capabilities. And this can be done by a side agreement between Israel and the United States.
You say there is a consensus among various people. There's clearly not a consensus within Israel, though, is there? Do you know of current serving military leaders who support this plan that the government is considering, or are you aware of disquiet within the senior ranks of the military about the possibility of reoccupying Gaza?
I think, and this is not from intimate knowledge, but from what I read in the news, that the military recommendation is different from a total occupation of the Gaza Strip. They have a different plan. If Hamas refuse to negotiate, and this is the situation right now as we speak. Hamas is encouraged from the starvation campaign, from the recognition in Palestinian state. They are very proud in the 7th of October massacre and terror that, according to them, brought the recognition of Palestinian state, and they are not willing to negotiate. So the IDF has its own plan how to deal with Hamas. And this will be, I think, in a discussion this week. And then the chief of staff, once again, I haven't spoke to him, but according to some leaks, he will have to put his integrity as a leader. If the government plan will not be seen to him as the right one, he can only do one thing: resign, or what in democratic country you are doing, you obey your government.
Would the reoccupation of Gaza, though, allow the government to bring the hostages home alive?
The chances of this to happen are very low. Hamas is a very cruel terror organization. When the IDF will approach, The history tells us that they will kill the hostages. So those who are saying, let's occupy Gaza and destroy Hamas totally, have the assumption that anyway, the hostages, according to the videos that Hamas released, are about to die.
It's been clear to many people, and we've had an awful lot of Israeli security analysts on this programme over the past almost 2 years who've said that it would not be possible to achieve both aims of eliminating Hamas and releasing the hostages militarily. And yet we have had the government and the Israeli military carry on in this way now since October 2023. Why do you think, what's your suspicion about why Benjamin Netanyahu and the other senior figures in Israel's political elite want to continue with the military campaign?
I think Israel defense concept, defense doctrine, speaking about short wars. Israel is a small country with limited resources, and when you go to war, you want to finish it in the shortest time possible. This is what we have done vis-a-vis Hezbollah after we decided to go to the north. This was the 12 days of the war with Iran. And Netanyahu has a political goal in continuing this war. His government will be toppled by the extreme right-wingers, so he is not in a hurry. However, the blame is on Hamas. It's not only on Netanyahu, because Hamas have started this war. Hamas has done a massacre of 1,200 Israelis, most of them civilians. They burn kids, they rape girls. They started this war, and they could have finished it every day if they would return the hostages. Unfortunately, Hamas is using the population of Gaza as a human shield, and this is a tragedy. But we have the responsibility to end this tragedy if we can. And we, the group of ex-head of intelligence and chiefs of staff and inspector of the police, thinking that this is the time to end the war, to bring back the hostages, and history is not ended in 2025. We will be able to root out Hamas from the Gaza Strip with the help of international forces, of Arab forces that will take over the Gaza Strip from Hamas.
Thank you very much indeed. AMOS YADLin, then the former head of the Military Intelligence Directorate at Israel's Defense Forces, and later on